Oh, hello everybody. Here in this short video, I'm going to explain or show you how to use the Procmon for the ICM. Now, the Procmon commands can be used against the CTISvr, JGW, or the PIM. So let's say we start with the PIM, and I have a PIM for a PG5, JGW process for PG5, and CTISvr process for the CG5A. So you need to go to the command prompt, and from the command prompt you have to type procmon and the instance of the ICM. So in these scenarios the instance was, let's say, HIC. So I type HIC and the PG process is PG5A and then PIM1 process. So here within this command I can actually type mhelp to see what are the commands available, right, and with some explanations. And there are a few good commands that I can use. One of them is the device_config. That will actually show me the configuration of the PIM itself. In these scenarios, the physical controller is 5002. The peripheral ID for this particular PIM is 5018. And also what is the name that is being used on that one. In this scenarios it was HIC OCCM. Then I can also use the PH, the peripheral. It gives me the similar informations, but device config only gives me the configuration, doesn't show me the status. But with the D peripheral or dump peripheral, it gives me the status of the PIM, which is in active and how long it has been active. So it shows me all those informations. I can also look at the peripheral time if you want to check what is the current time zone and what is the UCT time. It shows me all those informations. Besides these informations, I can actually use a few commands like list agent or LA. It will show me all the agents configured for this particular PIM, and I can also see which are logged in. So in this scenarios, agent 1001, which is actually logged in on extension 1001. All other agents are not logged in. Now if I want to do more information about one particular agent, I can use dump agent or D agent, and then I have to give the extension agent ID. So in this scenario is 1001. So that will give me a more detailed information about that particular agent. In this scenarios, the agent state is as available state. Now I can, for any commands, I can actually use the help option to see what is the syntax of the commands. I can for any commands I can use this one. Now D agent is actually short form of the pim_dump_agent. I can also use list lsg to define all the skill group. If I use that dump agent command for this agent, now I can see the agent state is actually in talking state, and if I use for a different agent, I can see that agent is in logout state. And I can also use list call commands, and that will show me active call on that PIM. The one good part of this one that I can actually use the or I can get the call ID from here, the calling device and all those informations, right? And list call will just list all the calls. Then if I want to see more detailed information about one particular call, then I can use that the dump call or D call. With this time I actually have to give the call ID, so I can use 16779324. that will give me more information about the whole call IDs, like what type of call, what is the agent states, the calling call number, and other important part is that the router request and all those informations that we can actually use the PIM or OPC traces. I can also look at the registry setting, regdir, that will give me the PIM registry setting for that particular, whether what is the trace level set, all those. Now if I want to set the tracing, what I can do is I can use ltrace to see what are the trace is set for this particular PIM. Right? There are different kind of trace available, and some of them are set, some of them are not set. Right? So I can use any specific like pre-call, which is turned off now. I can say trace pre-call / off. Right? If I do ltrace again, I'll see that has been turned off. Or I can actually use the wildcard. Let's say before I want to set anything, I can do trace * off. That means all trace is turned off, and then I can enable traces that I want. Like I can enable TP */1, anything with the TP that will be turned on, and then if I want anything with the set, I want to turn off, so I can do this kind of things. And once it is done, I can do quit to get out of the Procmon for the PIM. Now I can do the similar thing for JGW process. So if I go back to my Procmon command, instead of PIM1 I can give JGW1, and I can do mhelp to see what are the commands available. Yeah, I can do CTISvr to see the version of the JTAP, JRE-vr to see the version of the JRE that I'm using. I can use list instrument, all the instrument that is being used, status of that one, so it will show me what are the address that is defined for this particular JTAP users, and what is the status. It is in service, there is active call 1001 and agent is logged in. All others are unmonitored or monitored status. So monitored means that port is the dialer port is being monitored by the dialer, and unmonitored means there is nobody's actually monitor all those particular ports. And also it will show me which one is the route point or not. The next command that I can use is from the JLI. If I want to see more about one particular instrument, I can do jump JTP or JGW dump instrument JDI and 1001. That will give me a more detailed information on that particular device. I can use JLC to give the list of the calls, and then if I want to see more about the call, I'll actually need to do JDC or dump call, but I have to give the call ID same as the PIM. So I give 16779324. So that gives me all the information about that particular call, the calling information, called informations, and all those informations. On top of that, one important thing on this one is that we want to get is that conval ID. So this conval ID is the con ID val is actually the CI on the call manager. So if I want to track the call on the call manager, I can easily get this value and track onto the call manager. So that way it's easier to track or find what's happening that particular call. And from this one I can actually clear a particular call. So if I do J clear call and the call ID which I have given earlier, it's the same call ID, so 16779324. if I want to need to do it, I can do that. If I do JLC no call, so I can do that. And similar as a PIM, I can do ltrace to see what are the trace are set. I can enable or disable whichever I want. I can do trace star high, sorry, star low, star. I want to enable the low level tracing. Do /on. I can do ltrace again. I want to see which traces are on, or I can do very specific trace JT heartbeats /on, like it. It can be either way. I can also do reg dir to see the trace settings of this one, and if I want to get out of it, I can see quit. And I can do similar things for the CTI server also. So I have to give CG5A and CTISvr. So here I can use the command status. That will give me status of the CTI servers, how many calls are there. But now, since we have cleared the call earlier, there is no call. And also how many CTI clients or different processes actually connecting to the CTI server. I can also do dump server. That will give me more detailed informations about the server, like how many clients are there, what is the session protocol that being used, and also what is the transport protocol. That means what is the TCP connections and all those informations. I can use clients, like how many clients that it has. So far we have 4 clients, 1 2 3 and 6, and it gives me the client ID also, like what kind of client. So I have a CTIOS server connecting to it, I have BA dollar connecting to it, enterprise service on the CAD, and the IPPA service on the CAD. And I can I can get more detailed informations about the clients. Is if I do d client or dump client and the session ID. In this case, let's say I want to see about this client 6, so that tells me, you know, what kind of client it is, what is the IP address, what is the port number, and also is there any other informations that important. I can actually kill a particular client. Let's say I can say kill 6. That means it will kill the IPPA connections, and I hope that it will actually come back, because IPPA will reinitiate the connections. So if you think there is a problem between CTA server and the client, you can actually kill the connections and let the client reinitiate the connection. So it may make a difference. Alright, so I can use LD to see all the devices associated to it, the status of the devices. So it's similar as JGW. Then I can see 101, I have an agent extension logged in. Others one, we don't have any, and everything is under peripheral 5018. I can do dump device and then 1001 to see more details about that particular device. I can do list agents to see all the agents. Right now the agents are in an available state, and I can do dump agent to see details about one particular agents. Similar goes to as a team supervisor. So let's is that list agent team supervisor, which is who is the supervisor in these scenarios, and I can use LAT to see the team configurations. Alright, so that's all here to explain, and it is easier for you that if you can copy all the commands from different processes, like for the PIM, what are the different commands that you have, and you can actually play around with this command. And some of the commands needs more specific informations, like dump agent, you need the agent ID. But if you do list agent, then you don't need, you can just list what are the agents that are available, and you can do similar things for the JGW, and you can do for the PIM, and you can keep this command somewhere so that when you need it you can quickly get it. Thanks.